The word simp has been thrown around a lot lately, and with good reason. More than ever, so many women are selling their attention and their bodies for money. I mean, yeah. But this idea of catering to a woman to really get her affection isn't really new. It's not a new phenomenon. I mean, back in the day, a whole 7, 8 years ago, it was called being a beta or a white knight. The whole mindset behind this is like, okay, women say they want to be treated nicely. They complain about a-holes. Therefore, if I show a woman that I am a nice guy, that I will treat them nicely, that I'll be just nice to them. Like I'll be, I'll give them positive emotions. I'll treat them well. I'll give them back massages. I'll buy them what they want. That they should like me. I mean, it makes a logical sense in our mind. And this culture, which has been reinforced by society, has led to a lot of misinformed men.
Now, first off, I think we need to define what a simp is, at least from my perspective. Now, when I was coming up, a simp was a sucker, a guy who just overdid it in the hopes of getting a woman's attention. He got made a fool of and taken advantage of by these women. If this is what you're doing, you're a simp.
If you watching my channel and saying weird shit or over validating women in real life or over validating women on social media or in the DMs or in the comment section using heart emojis or being thirsty, today, right now, while you're watching this shit, it has to stop right now because that's beta as fuck. That is beta male and blue pill as fuck. And look, I'm not trying to come at any of you guys. I don't want to personally attack anybody, but if you take this personally, bro, you're the person I'm talking about. We cannot be doing that shit as men, dog. And look, for real, as men in general, bro, we have to stop putting women on the pedestal.
What's good, authentic fam? Just another one. So, real quick, welcome back to Authentic Alphas. And we're going to have a quick little rant. So, don't pay me any mind. If it's not resonating with you, feel free to disagree. But I was listening to some guys complain about modern women, and there's a lot of that going around. And I mean, I see, understand, acknowledge, can relate to everything that dudes be saying, but I just can't find myself being upset about what women are doing or blaming women or complaining about them, because at the end of the day, I just don't take women that seriously, bro, in the sense that I don't think that they have that type of agency. I don't think they have that type of self-awareness. I don't think they have that type of logic. And I'm not trying to insult any women. I'm just being 100% honest. I don't take the things that women do and say for the most part personal, unless we have like this personal relationship and it's like just me that they're doing this to or whatever, which of course isn't really going to be the case. Simply because I just kind of accept that that's how they are, and that's how they are because they're a product of their environment. They're a product of their experiences and what they've been told. They're not the ones that are going to go out there and conduct these strict scientific trials and tests to find out what reality truly is. That's not women, bro. That's not. Women are just looking for the most comfortable place, the place with the least amount of risk, the path with the least resistance, the least painful experience. That's what women are looking for. And that's just what it is, guys. I know that women want to tell you they're strong, brave, and bold, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, some are, like 2%. There's going to be your Amelia Earharts that want to fly planes and shit and take a risk like a man. But, again, that's like 1.8% of women, all right? The majority of women, they're just not built that way. Again, it's not an insult to them. Women are different than men. If a man starts acting like a woman, he's a bitch. If a chick starts acting like a dude, you see what I mean? It doesn't work well. But when men act like men, awesome. And when women act like women, again, awesome. Okay? So I don't think their differences are weaknesses. I think they're just differences. And with that being said, guys in this day and age, in this era, have to learn how to compartmentalize this shit. You have to say to yourself, okay, the women nowadays, especially in Western countries, they have these bad habits, they have these misconceptions, but why and where did this shit come from? So what I'm saying is, like 99.9% of the shit that guys, are finding displeasing and unsatisfactory about women are actually result of most men's behavior, the typical man's behavior. And I get it. It had to start somewhere, and it's being perpetuated. So there was like a saying in Brooklyn, right? We don't believe you. You need more people. And I found that interesting because in high school, that's when I learned that what everybody believes is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the truth. If everybody believes that this chick is a slut and that she gave head to the whole football team, guess what? She could have gave head to nobody on the football team. But if everybody in the high school believes that she did, she's as good as a hoe that gave head to everybody on the football team. Everybody's going to treat her accordingly. Nobody's going to wife her up. Nobody's going to want to be her boyfriend. Nobody's going to want to be seen with her, hold hands with her. But every guy's going to expect to get some sloppy head under the bleachers. That's just the way that it is. And unfortunately, she might eventually start actually behaving that way and doing that and seeing herself like that because everybody else does at this point. So she's just going to have to embrace the attention that she's getting. Whoever's not following my train of thought, where I'm going with this is that it's the fault of the people, of the masses. So when you have a woman that's acting super entitled, guess what? That's based on what she's been told, okay? What the entertainment, what the media, and what society is telling her that women should have just for being women. And then also, it's how men are treating her. And there's going to be a struggle, okay, between those two crowds, between the population of society and everybody that's not a potential mate and all the guys that are potential mates. There's going to be a clash of that. And when society is telling her that she's beautiful and she's perfect, don't change anything, girl, you deserve the world, you're strong, you're powerful, you're beautiful, you're fierce, you're brilliant. And then the guys are in her DM saying, hey, beautiful, you're so gorgeous, you're so perfect. And they never even met her. And she's not really that beautiful. She's not really that perfect. Guess what, guys? Guess who wins that struggle, that tug of war? You see what I'm saying? Because the majority of people, that's what they're telling her. Now, when somebody comes in that's reality-based and honest and says, well, I mean, you're not, get over yourself, girl. It's not that serious. Now that person's an asshole. Now that person's a hater. You see what I'm trying to say? Now that person is just saying anything to hurt her feelings, and that person is not telling the truth. Get that asshole out of here. And she's going to continue living her fairy tale world. All the while asking herself, why can't I secure a high value dude? Why doesn't this great looking, rich, wealthy, tall guy want to be with me and stay with me? Aren't I perfect? Aren't I beautiful? Aren't I fierce and brilliant and everything that everyone's been telling me? So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that she's the victim of that. She's the victim of that propaganda and that noise. But you can't so much blame her. You have to blame your peers. You have to blame all these lame-ass, low-quality, desperate-ass dudes that be giving these women all this free attention, all of this damn validation. And there is a lot of animosity for these guys. That's why we have words like simp, and we use it in a derogatory way. When really simps need help, not ridicule, right? But this is where all that vitriol for those type of guys comes from. Because on some level, we understand that behavior is what's screwing it up for everyone else. That's what's fucking the game up. And don't get me wrong, there's always been guys like that. The difference is now we're mixing that with technology. So now those guys can get amplified now because one guy like that can create so much damage with every minute. Okay, because he can go to several accounts and DM several girls and tell them they're beautiful and they're gorgeous. He can go like on everybody's picture. He can subscribe to several OnlyFans pages. You see what I mean? He can create a lot of damage. Just that one person. Just that one guy can tell many, 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 many women that they're whatever, and inflate their head, inflate their egos. And when you have a generation of guys like that, or a percentage of the generation is like that, this is what we get on the other end, guys. This is what we get back. We get back these stuck-up women, these women that think they're the shit, that the best thing on the world, and men are supposed to like worship them or something. And then these women get confused and think that the valuable guys that they're actually interested in are supposed to behave like the majority of weak ass, low quality men. And it just doesn't work that way. But they don't get it. They don't get it because they're not actual men. They're not out here building value. They're not working. They're not competing. They're not dealing with any of the things that it takes to be a man. So they can't relate to the experience. So all they know is that there's men, some I like, some I don't. That's all they know. They don't know why they like this one more than that one. You get what I'm trying to say? So they can't gauge the difference in quality. Therefore, they can't gauge the difference in price. All they understand is desire. I desire this guy more than that guy. Why doesn't the guy I desire behave like all these other guys? Well, bitch, by definition, those guys are behaving that way because they're not as desirable and they're desperate. But again, women aren't understanding that. So you can't hold it against the women is what I'm trying to say, guys. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of anger and temperament. The only thing you could do is keep grounded in reality and the truth and figure out how you're going to make reality and the truth work for you. Obviously, don't conduct yourself like a simp, but don't go around being mad at women that are the products of a fan club of simp-ass dudes, okay? Then also, we have to keep in mind these dudes are being raised majority of the time in a fatherless household. So the female thought process and the female way of doing things is what they were raised up on. Let me go deeper into what I'm trying to say there. If you've been around women, if you're familiar with women, you understand how they talk to each other, how they communicate with each other. Women, their relationships are full of fluff. When a woman first meets another woman, right? Now, if you're a guy and you're often with a chick, if you got a chick, if you always had chicks, you should know what the interactions are like when you introduce two chicks to each other, or you're with a chick and she meets another chick. The whole interaction is fake as fuck. Hey, hi. Oh, I love your eyeliner. Oh, thanks. I love that dress. Oh, wow, nice shoes. Oh, what, bro? They just blow each other's heads up, and it's almost like a currency that they're exchanging. Like, hey, you give me a bunch of compliments, and I'm gonna give you a bunch of compliments. You tell me that everything about me is perfect, and I'll tell you everything about you is perfect. This is what they do. So the point I'm trying to make is that there's young boys being raised up around that energy. So when they're trying to meet a girl and get to know a girl, they're subconsciously interacting and communicating the only way that they've witnessed, which is just telling the girl a bunch of nice things, just like complimenting her and telling her that, oh, this is great about you and that is great about you, whether it's true or not. They're just trying to win that person over. They're trying to be likable, and they're trying not to offend that person. They're trying to make that person want to be around them. Now, here's the thing, though. That works female to female. A gorgeous woman will hang out with a not so attractive woman. You see it all the time. A chick that's killing it at work will hang out with a chick that's failing, like barely can even, meet the requirements of the job. With women, they're, how do I say this, man? It's tough to, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. The point is that an unattractive woman can hang out with an attractive woman and they will have no problem hanging out with each other. Okay? Their relationship can be built on that. Fine. What I'm saying is, guy to girl, it doesn't work the same. An unattractive guy can't just compliment a woman into spending time with him and hanging out with him. It's not going to work. At best, they'll get you in the friend zone. Now, why would you be surprised? That's where it gets another female. If another female comes at her with that, just complimenting her, just, oh, don't worry, I'll pay for the coffee. Oh, we should hang out sometime. Oh, we should do this. Oh, that. If another female comes at her with that shit, guess what? That bitch is going to be in the friend zone. So why would you expect any different if there isn't that component of sexual energy and desire for you in her? It's not going to magically manifest itself because you complimented her 7 times in 2 minutes. Absolutely not. So what I'm trying to tell you is that being raised in a competitive atmosphere, being raised around men and under men, is where you would learn how to interact with other dudes, which isn't going to be a bunch of complimenting each other, and how you would be able to interact and communicate with a woman from the position of a man that's interested in her. All right? So anyhow, that's it for this rant. I didn't want to go too much with the shit. I just wanted to basically say, stop blaming women and blame dudes. All right, blame weak ass men. If you want to blame somebody, blame weak ass men. And the way you respond to that is make yourself the opposite of that. Become as strong as you can. Become as rooted in the truth as possible. All right? If these guys are blurting out a bunch of bullshit, be stoic. All right? And genuine. If these guys are fake as fuck, be genuine. If these guys are in the friend zone, validating women and being a fucking emotional tampon for women, do the opposite. Only interact with women when it's non-plutonic. When it's clearly established, I'm trying to fuck, what's up? All right? That's what you got to do, guys. You got to be the change that you want to see. I know you hear that corny ass slogan all the time, the cheesy ass slogan. Be the change that you want to be. But no, for real though, be the change that you want to be. If you want women to interact and behave a certain way, you would have to be the dude that can get that out of them. All right? You can't be the dude that's doing all the same weak shit that got these women to behave that way in the first place and see themselves that way in the first place. And you also can't just be nonchalant and indifferent. That's not going to work either. You have to be a stern contrast is what I'm trying to say. Be a stern contrast to that. That way it's a lot easier for the woman to understand that, hey, I don't know what that's about, but that's not how I roll over here. All right? I don't know if that's how your last dude was, or I don't know if that's how these dudes deal with you, but I'm not dealing with you like that. It's a lot easier for her to make that disconnect when you are the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? In every way. So if these guys are underachieving, you got to be overachieving. If these guys are weak and frail, you got to be big and strong. You understand what I'm trying to say? If these guys are indecisive and passive, then you have to be very decisive and very dominant. So anyhow, just work on those areas, and I think what will happen is those negative characteristics about the modern woman will start to affect you and irritate you less and less, and you become more immune to it. All right? Well, at least in theory. All right? And if not, you can always just get a passport. All right, man. So anyhow, jump in the email for any consults, special requests, questions, and all this other shit. Other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Let's keep it authentic and stop being mad at women, guys. Peace.